Guys, welcome to a classic film review of 1978's Coma from director Michael Crichton. This is the creepy story of a doctor who discovers an unusually large number of people have slipped into comas after seemingly routine medical procedures. However, she finds her career and life in danger when she investigates further. Now, less the sci-fi thriller it's often thought as, it actually sits neatly alongside other 70s paranoid conspiracy thrillers as Geneviève Bujold goes up against the might of corporate healthcare, a system that's now inseparable from big business. It was a decent hit in its day and mostly holds up, 45 years later. Let's take a look.
Oh, Jesus Christ, her pupils are fixed and dilated.
What? The pupils?
Oh my God.
So when a best friend falls into a coma during a routine procedure, Dr. Susan Wheeler does some digging and discovers a surprising amount of patients have also suffered from anaesthesia-induced comas. As she investigates, she's accused of illegal tampering with medical records from her primarily male colleagues, including her boss, Dr. Harris, here played by the great Richard Widmark. Also the chief anaesthesiologist, Dr. George, played by Rip Torn, and even her boyfriend, Dr. Mark Bellows, an early role here for Michael Douglas. Now the trail that she's on eventually leads her to the Jefferson Institute, which is a mysterious experimental facility in which patients are suspended from the ceiling by wires threaded through their bones. An elaborate setup apparently aimed at reducing the cost of long-term care. Spoiler alert though, there's more to it than meets the eye.
There's no need for contact. Every one of our patients is individually monitored by the computer. Indwelling telemetry records weight, fluid balance, blood pressure, blood gases, temperature, metabolic balance.
Now, no sooner has she uncovered the link between this mysterious Jefferson Institute and the comas at Boston Memorial where she works, the hospital's top brass try and hinder her, and a shadowy henchman turns up and begins to stalk her. Now, firstly, if you do follow this channel closely, you'll know I love a good conspiracy thriller, and setting one around morgues and operating rooms and spooky hospital corridors ups the ante in terms of dread and certainly that slither of fear that everyone must certainly have of being anaesthetised and put under the knife. And we also have the very 60s, 70s theme of that one person up against insurmountable odds going up against the system. Now, having Geneviève Bujold not only battle the system but also the inherent sexism of the workplace gives her great opportunities to go toe-to-toe with actors like Rip Torn, Douglas and Widmark. And I feel like her snooping and infiltration of file rooms and secret facilities, it never really stretches believability, although a brief ambulance roof escape sequence is ever so slightly Mission Impossible. Saying that, I do enjoy having that cliched, shady fix-it man wandering around the hospital, taking out whoever gets too close to the truth. It's fantastic, especially in late night games of cat and mouse, resulting in our heroine getting involved in the action. Now, admittedly, it does take a little bit of time for Coma to build up to this. We're not dropped into action scenes like this right away. The film goes for more of a slow burn approach, setting up how an operating room works and how anaesthesia is administered in quite a lot of detail. And some of the medical jargon can be a bit overwhelming. It's worth bearing in mind here, though, that the film's director and writer both come from medical backgrounds, so they're in their element here. Now, although he doesn't get a great deal to do, we of course have Michael Douglas, Bujold's co-star. Douglas was on the verge of his great career here. This was pretty much his breakout movie after a run on the underrated Streets of San Francisco TV series. Now, I don't find Douglas initially very likeable here. He's sexist and self-centred, not only feeling his career is the more important of the two, but immediately panicked when he finds his girlfriend snooping will affect his own prospects at work. Now, without spoiling the film, he does kind of come good at the end, but it's a bit rushed. And the fact that Douglas and Bujold are in a relationship doesn't really play enough of a part in the story for me. I'd like to have seen them butt heads a little more. But again, on the flip side, the film's admirable for getting in and out in about an hour and 45 minutes, so you can't have it all. Oh yeah, quickly, I almost forgot. Keep your eyes peeled for cameo appearances almost from a young Ed Harris here playing a lab technician, and also Tom Selleck as a potentially doomed patient. So famous author and director Michael Crichton, here adapting Robin Cook's novel, loves a good technology gone bad story, although here it's more about how humans are using that technology for their own gain. The film's imagery of coma patients suspended by wires has become more famous than the movie itself, and is admittedly very, very creepy. The real reason the Jefferson Institute's keeping all these patients is a little brushed over, in all honesty. It maybe needed a scene or two more to show the true extent of the horror. And that's probably my main criticism of the film. Crichton delights in the detail of hospital protocol and the mechanics of the operating room, but I think he shies away from exploring the true terror of what this mysterious institute is, and that's to the film's detriment in a way. Now, I'm personally not the biggest fan of hospitals. They certainly have that creepy vibe to them, and more so these older hospitals. With that in mind, Coma can almost be seen as a gothic horror film. The film's almost an old grave robber film with modern scientific sheen. A third act that preys on the fear of being helpless on an operating table feels straight out of an old horror movie. The real horror, though, obviously coming from the fact that the premise is entirely plausible. Now, this is probably, in fact, almost certainly the kind of thoughtful thriller that would be released on a streaming service nowadays, which is a great shame, of course, as it's a film that proves that whiz-bang special effects and superheroes bashing each other are not always necessary to make a movie a winner. This isn't the finest example of 70s paranoia, but if the bar is The Parallax View, The Conversation, 3 Days of the Condor, Marathon Man, then this isn't a million miles behind them. Go check it out.
Uh-oh. Dr. Harris.
Yes?
She doesn't seem to be coming around, sir.
Just give her a minute. I'm sure she'll be just fine.
I don't know, sir.